I think the girls with their nails done now.
Oi! Okay, boys and girls, and gender fluid or whatever you want to be called. No time to lose, so let's get into it. In this video, I'll break down the abilities of this new Echo hero. I'll give you some tips on how to play smarter. Yeah, this sounds wrong, even I can't play her that smart. Anyway, then I'll show you how Echo charges fast while duplicating each hero, and in the end I'll show you from which enemies you can get the greatest value and which are gonna be a pain in your back. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say, yes. So, Echo is the newest hero addition in the Overwatch DPS role. She's a flying character, kinda like Pharah, with a 3-second flying ability that can be cancelled at any time and a 6-second cooldown. As if flying was not enough, she has a passive ability called Glide, which means that if you hold your jump after flight, she will slowly hover to the ground. By the way, keep in mind that if you cancel flight on a high flying point, you can hover almost until flight is ready to use again. Okay, enough with the flying circus, let's see how she deals some damage! Echo has a main attack called Tri-Shot, shooting 3 pellets at once. Each pellet deals 17 damage on impact or 51 damage if all 3 hit your target, which depends on the range between you and your enemy. The secondary attack is called Sticky Bombs and it's a mess, yeah, you guessed it. Echo fires 6 bombs. Those bombs can stick on anything, enemies, shields, walls, or even the ground, and of course deal a great amount of split damage. Each bomb deals 30 damage, and if all 6 find the same target, 180, plus 5 damage for the impact, meaning that most squishy 200 HP targets are a melee hit away from death. You can imagine that with a Mercy boosting Echo, the bomb damage goes to over 200. The third and last ability is called Focusing Beam, or as most people call it, Shield Melter. It has a 20-meter range and a 2.5 seconds channeling. That beam does 50 damage per second, and the best part, if the shield or your target is under 50% HP, the damage is doubled. So for shields falling below 50%, the damage goes up to 200 damage per second. Before jumping to the ultimate ability, here are some tips that you need to know while trying to master Echo. 1. Since Echo has a weird looking model, it is really easy to avoid getting headshot from an enemy hitscan player just by turning your camera and looking down to the ground. Yeah, I know it might seem stupid, but it's gonna save you, right? Number 2. When you wanna use flight, try looking in front of you, so that the hero jumps higher. Yeah, trust me, it works. Number 3. Echo is not a flanker. Your flight ability has a significant cooldown, so you better use it to escape from a situation and not to push. Oh, and a bonus tip. If you want to secure a quick kill with Echo, after using your main attack, use your bombs for a great burst to 50% and then push with your beam to evaporate your target. Yeah, you can thank me later, no biggie. Okay, now is the time for the big guns. Well, let's just say one of the best ultimate abilities in the game. Echo's ultimate is called Duplicate. This is an ability that can be used to copy any of the enemy heroes that you want for 15 seconds. Oh, did I mention the range of this ability is about 40 meters? Yeah, that means you can go as far away as you want in the air, use it, and drop in between your enemies for a big surprise, motherfucker! When you duplicate Reinhardt, you can see that it takes 3 to 4 seconds to charge up your ultimate after 4 melee hits, or you can use a fire strike which charges instantly if it hits 2 or more targets. So imagine what happens when the Baptiste Matrix is in front of you. Fun times. Ideally, during a fight you can charge Rein between 2 to 5 volts, unless you get stunned or tossed far away. Yeah, I know the feeling. As Orisa, you need about 20 bullets, more or less, to charge your ultimate, which can take up to 2 seconds, or I guess 3 if your aim is not that good. Also, you can't really go for a second ult, since the bongo stays for its whole duration, even after you switch back to Echo. If you choose to duplicate the big bad monkey, you will charge your ult in about 4 seconds, unless you jump in the enemy team, which you should do for more split damage to charge faster, you know. The bad news is that once you use your ult, the time frame is not enough for you to charge a second time, and the same goes for Sigma. You can charge your ultimate with 3 main attack hits, but the time frame might not allow you to go for a second ultimate charge. So for a last tank that has a shield, or let's say Wrecking Ball, you can charge your ult in between 2 to 3 seconds with your main main attack, and if you're lucky or good enough, you can land the mines in between the enemy team and get a second ult charge before your time runs out. Oh, and by the way, if you get back to being Echo, the mines are still staying on the field until the end of the cooldown. Our next tank is D.Va, who, as you already know, can deny Echo's main and secondary attacks, but you can still use the beam on her. If you use your ult to copy D.Va, just spam your main attack and rockets to get your ult charge in about 2 to 3 seconds. The best part is that you can farm another ult with the same sequence, and of course, if your time runs out during a D.Va bomb, you get back to being Echo, bomb stays to kill people. If you manage to copy Zarya, it takes 3 seconds to charge an ultimate with your main attack, and even less if you can land an energy bomb in more enemies. Once again, the Graviton Surge stays if you use it right before you get back to being Echo. And of course, one of the best picks, Roadhog. He can charge in 2 seconds if you manage to hook and shoot twice. Even his full heal charges for about 80%, which means that you can easily get 2 ultimates in those 15 seconds that you have. And now let's move to the DPS, starting with Ashe, who can charge in 3 to 4 seconds with her main ability, unless it's a headshot, which is gonna be way faster. So if you shoot your dynamite in between your enemies, it's gonna be about 2 seconds. Oh, and by the way, Bob stays if you change back to Echo. Up next, your favorite tank, Bastion! Echo's rockets deal about 100 damage on Bastion and your beam burns down 80 of his armor. If you copy Bastion and you can deploy in a safe spot, it will take you 4 seconds to charge your ultimate, otherwise it takes about 2 seconds, which are more than enough for someone who holds his left click to win. Good job, buddy! And that's it! One of your best choices to copy is Doomfist. Doomfist can literally charge in a second with his 4 hand cannon knuckles main attack or with a rocket punch and a knuckle. Also, his ultimate can be used instantly, which means that if you're a good Doomfist player, you can charge up to 5 ults or more. Who knows, it's up to you. If you choose to copy the nano spamming ninja, it will take you 3 successful shuriken main attacks to get your ult, or in the middle of the fight you'll probably get it in 2 seconds because you're a better Genji than me, but it's okay, I'll switch to Winston. Now if you fancy the other brother and you are a main Hanzo, you should know that a shot in the head will give you about 80% ult charge and 2 shots in the body is about 50% each. So you can get about 2-second ult charge and you can farm about 2 or 3 dragon strikes. On the other hand, if you love spaghetti westerns and you wanna play McCree, 4 shots in the body will give you an ult charge or 2 shots considering one of them is a headshot as well. So happy hunting! If you prefer a flying sneaky attack and you choose to copy Pharah, 4 rockets on a single target will give you an ult charge in about 3 to 4 seconds, or if you can land 2 rockets in between your enemies, they'll give you a 2-second ult charge. If you wanna go for some heavier damage and you decide to copy Reaper, you're gonna need 3 to 4 hits to get your ult charge in about 3 to 4 seconds. For the legs lovers, it's gonna take you 4 to 5 seconds and a full mag to charge your ult, or your best choice would be to land your helix rockets to more than 1 enemy and a couple of bullets. Go get 'em, soldier! As a Sombra, if you manage to empty half your mag successfully on a target, you'll have your ult in 2 seconds, and if you're fast enough, you can get a second ult. Oh, and by the way, if you cast EMP before switching back to Echo, it will stay for its full duration. If you're a fan of the Turret Queen Symmetra, she charges in 3 seconds using either her beam or shooting 2 orbs, or having her turrets spread, shooting single or multiple targets. And of course your favorite turret king, Torbjorn, who gets about 110 damage from Echo's beam, or she just burns down the additional armor from Overload. He charges in 2 to 3 seconds by shooting his main or his secondary attack, and the best thing, as you already know, is that the turret stays after Torbjorn is gone and Echo comes back, just for a few seconds at least. Of course, Widow as well charges in 3 seconds, considering the first shot that you hit is a headshot that gives you about 80 to 85% ult charge. By now you already know how ults work, so Mei is no exception to that. Her ult stays for some more seconds after Echo turns back, so in order to charge Mei you need to freeze a target for 4 seconds or hit 3 icicles on a target for 3. As for the rat who everyone loves to hate, he charges with 3 shots on a single target, or you can go for split damage and he's gonna charge in about 2 seconds. Oh, and by the way, unlike the rest of the heroes' ults, Riptire won't stay after Junk changes back to Echo. It will explode right at that moment that Echo's ult is finished. As for the favorite pick of all the smurfs around the world, and possibly the most annoying hero for the rest of the players, our Guild Tracer, who can actually charge an ult in 1 sec by landing a full mag on the enemy player, which means that if you're a decent Tracer player, you'll end up with 7 ults, and I don't wanna know how many ults you're gonna get with a nano. No, like seriously, I'm gonna delete my account if that happens to me. As for copying Echo, you guessed it, it's dumb, it won't happen, and it shouldn't. But you can copy Mercy, and by emptying a mag on your enemy, you'll get ult in about 4 seconds. Although copying Mercy is situational, you're probably gonna use it to get a res on a tank or save your team from an ugly situation. And now that we already started with the supports, let's jump to Ana. No, not literally. Ana requires 3 to 4 seconds to charge an ult for a nano, so your best case scenario is to copy Ana while you're in the air and throw a grenade in your enemies for some split damage, which will give you a nano in about 1 to 2 seconds. You're welcome. Good old Baptiste, who can charge by shooting in 3 to 4 seconds, which is not what you need. So what you need is your Echo to copy Baptiste when your team is in a bad spot. Throw an immortality field and you can keep fighting. If Baptiste keeps healing, he's gonna charge in about 2 seconds, and the best part, if Baptiste goes away and Echo comes back, immortality field stays, his ult stays. As for Brigitte, she seems like the worst choice to copy since the ult charge is really slow. Unless of course you get a nano. Hey, you can heal everyone and kick their hopes to win. Also your ult won't stay with you or your teammates after you change. If you're a football fan and you like playing a support, which sounds doubtful, but anyways, Lucio is your pick, so he charges relatively slow with his abilities unless you get to heal everyone around you, and unfortunately his ult won't stay when you get back to being Echo. On the other hand, if you are a support player who likes to play DPS only, we shall call you Moira, and Moira charges in about 3 seconds, either with DPSing or healing. The ult stops if you turn back to being Echo, but the orbs will stay for a couple more seconds. Last but not least, the hovering robot Zenyatta, who charges his ult in about 3 to 4 seconds without healing, just by DPSing, and whose ult will immediately stop when he turns back to being Echo. Now that we're done breaking down all the other heroes' ultimate abilities, here are some tips and tricks that you can use against your enemies. Starting back from the supports, if your team has a Lucio and you copy another Lucio, you can have 2 sound barriers at once. If you copy an Ana and you also have an Ana, you can have 2 nanos at once. If you copy a Baptiste and you also have a Baptiste, you should consider using both your amplification matrices together, and you can see how fun it is to shoot a 450 damage headshot. And to continue with the tanks, if your team already has an Orisa and you copy another Orisa, you can have 2 bongos. Yeah, congrats on that crazy damage. Also, if your team has a Zarya and you copy a Zarya, your teammate Zarya can grab so you can shoot them and you can charge in 1 second. There you go, 2 grabs. Also, if you manage to copy an Ashe and you throw the dynamite in the grab, you have an instant bob. You can also play Echo if your team has a flanker like Tracer, Genji and Sombra so that they can finish off your target. Echo's counter picks are pretty much all the hitscan players, and Echo can actually get the most value when the enemies have DPS like Doomfist or Junkrat or Mei or Pharah or Reaper or Symmetra, who cannot actually kill you but have great ultimates for ground control and split damage. Now that you know how Echo works and how to get the best value out of the hero, you already know that Echo is the best pick for a flex player. So your best choice is to copy a high burst target who charges relatively fast and his ult has no channeling timer, except Roadhog, who can charge fast enough even after getting interrupted. Those great picks include Reinhardt, Doomfist, Tracer, McCree, Ana, Baptiste. Unless you need to assist your team with a situational pick, like losing a tank, you have to play a tank. Losing a healer, you have to pick a healer. As mentioned before, you might need to throw an immortality field, or go for a quick res, or simply carry your team to victory. Would you look at that? By now you know everything there is to know about Echo. How does it feel? Before you answer that, you should know this is the end of the video, so you can get back online and show them who's the boss. And you know, if you enjoyed it, you can throw in a like or subscribe or whatever, it's up to you. Have fun, I'll see you on the next one.